Welcome back to the show, everybody. Um, for all the loyal listeners, obviously, I didn't do a pod last Sunday. Didn't feel great. Didn't sound good. I still kind of feel like I sound a little scratchy even now, but we're back again, and I have my guy Daniel with me to do another pod and talk some football. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? Hey, week two was crazy. Finna go to another week three, talk about it, and we'll see what it is after that.
We are knee deep in the season. Well, we ain't. We're foot deep. We foot deep in the season. Put it that way. We here. It was a crazy week too. Like some of these games was so ridiculous. So where to start? Let's just start. We both have top 10 lists. I'm sure you got yours ready to fire. I got mine pulled up right here, ready to go. Let's just get straight into it, and then we can sprinkle in, talk about some of the games as we go or afterwards. It doesn't matter. Man.
Yeah,
But yeah, let's get into our now. How do we want to do this top 10? That's the real question right now.
that is, and
You
we can
like to
go
go
back
through
and back and we can go back and forth with our one and like give takes, so we could just say like,
yeah, we definitely got to start from the top. We can do that. So I'll give you my number one and then you give me yours. So
yeah,
at number one on my top 10, I have the Dallas Cowboys. I
which
had to do it through week
is
two.
actually is it.
I had to. I don't know. Let me preface all this by saying I don't like the Cowboys. I don't like the Cowboys fans. It's so annoying to just hear people constantly drone on about the Cowboys, good, bad, indifferent every single year. But I can't hate. I can't be that guy right now. I can't be
Yeah,
a hater. They're going crazy. So yeah, who you got at number one? And we can talk about this because I feel like we finna start
you
at
know,
number one already.
it is because I'm a homer, man. I like to do my
Ah,
whole
I
thing.
almost did that.
Like,
I almost did that, but I feel like, you know
but the
what?
thing
Let me
about it
be
is just
purely
like,
objective.
yeah, I'm not gonna be no
No, I
objective
understand.
or not. I feel like if we matched up A game plus A game this year,
Mhm.
I think we can beat the Cowboys. Like, because it ain't
I'm
like
with
they
you.
got a prolific offense to where we got to figure out our defense is crazy compared to their offense. Now, their
Mhm.
defense might be crazy compared to our offense right now, but it's just like we still have Pat Mahomes, so we don't know what's gonna happen during that game if we
Yeah,
was to face them.
yeah.
So is it at the end of the day? That's one of those games where you could be like, "What's the quarterback matchup?"
It's not even fair. But if we do that with any team, it's not fair, right?
But with that, but when you compare number ones, now you got to start picking at the nitty gritty and be like, all right, what really is the difference between these two teams?
Yeah.
Because they got one big defender, Michael Parsons. We got
Mm-hmm.
one big one, Chris Jones. They
Mm-hmm.
both do the same, if not the same effect to a game, like
Mm-hmm.
defensively wise. So now you got to go offensively wise. It's just like, all right, who is the playmaker on that? And if our playmaker is the quarterback, not a receiver or a running back,
I mean,
then it's
Kelsey,
basically game.
but
But
they don't have no
but
better
you
offensive piece than Travis Kelsey.
and neither did, and he's
Pacheco's
our
a better
second
running back than
best,
Pollard.
right? And then
So
you got
yeah.
Mahomes at one. So it's just like after week two, yeah, we 1-1 and they 2-0, but
Mm-hmm.
against better teams as well,
Yes,
better
way better
quarterbacks.
teams, way
I feel
better
like
quarterbacks. It's not even
so it's just
close.
like, and then we still only held. They only got 21 points because it was a pick six. There, people still be like, "Oh, they
Yeah,
Detroit scored 21, a pick six. They only
I
scored
mean,
14."
if you look at the
So it's just
Lions,
like,
if you look
and
at the
then
Lions, what they did with the Seahawks, you can kind of see that it was a bit of an anomaly game for them on both sides, holding us down to that many points and also only scoring 14 because they lit the Seahawks up for 3 quarters.
right,
They made them they would look bad, but somehow Gino and them just tracked them down. But it's to me the Cowboys are number one right now because just the and I'm gonna be saying this word a lot this right now. It's the execution on defense is so above. It's on a different level than anybody else, right? To me, that's the main thing. That
but it's
defense is so good.
so we could debate about this because is it? who's the two quarterbacks they played that defense?
That's a fair
Daniel
take.
Jones and Zach Wilson.
That yeah, it's two of
And
maybe the worst quarterbacks.
then you got Jared Goff, who's been to a Super Bowl, Trevor Lawrence, who's probably better than both of those quarterbacks at least.
Yeah, and I have a reason
It's,
why. There's a reason. I have some take that we'll do when we get down to the Chiefs a little farther about the Jags but I'm with you. To me, the Giants right now, the way this season, these two games, the Jags and the Giants are the wash to me. Offensively, how they've been handling this season, it's been equal. You know what I mean? Like, to me,
yeah.
The Giants went out in the fourth quarter and put up 30 straight points basically on the Cardinals.
Yeah,
now, the Cardinals aren't a good team. Right. The Cardinals aren't a good team. I understand that. But still, 4 straight drives with 4 straight touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Still, that's nothing to sneeze at. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's still Daniel Jones looked like a real quarterback finally. That's what that fourth quarter is, what everybody is expecting him to be all year this year. And I think we'll probably see a little more of that to come with Saquon most likely out for at least a week, maybe 2, 3.
Don't remind me, he's on my fantasy.
Oh, that's tough. But Daniel Jones, I think, is capable of having those type of games where he puts up 302, 3 touchdowns. I think he can continue to do that. That's why I put them in the Jags. They're on the same level. But when you get the Jets, is the Jets. Zach Wilson is, I can't hold on to it no more. I know we talked about that last episode. I can't hold on to the Zach Wilson stock anymore. I got to sell all my stock. It's going. Like, you was right. You was right with that one. Like, it's bad.
Didn't I say? I feel like I called those turnovers. I was like, he's going to do it.
But you're right. But to be fair, to give myself a little grace here, it was 10-18 going into the half. If he don't throw the one really bad pick, which basically that was it. Once he threw that pick, I think it was in the second quarter. I can't remember though. He threw one really bad pick, and it kind of was like, oh, that's it. There it is. It's over. Like, at first, they was kind of humming, and I mean, outside of letting Micah Parsons just do whatever he wants, basically just like walk through the line and do whatever he feels like. Outside of that, it wasn't horrific. It could have been worse, but Zach Wilson is Zach Wilson, and it's not going to change. But yeah, but if I'll go through one of the notes I have here is the defense is top 5 in everything,
right?
Except rushing stats, right? So against the run, they're only top 10 in everything. So, so they're hands down the number 1 defense, and it's not even close. And you see it. To me, let me say this too. When I made this list, the first thing I did was just go through, no stats, no nothing, just how I felt. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I get that, but even and I get the how I felt thing, but sometimes, you know how when people they say don't go off of feelings, go off of reality, logic. Yeah. Because if you go off how you feel, the Dallas Cowboys been feeling like they should be winning the Super Bowl the last 25, 30 years.
Now here's
we don't go off it.
Here's the kicker, though. Here's the kicker. Let me walk you through. So the first iteration of the list was just pure feelings. This is how I feel. I just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I took probably an hour and just sat with it, looked at it, kept opening my phone, looking at it and looking and going, okay, let me go through some stats. Now, this will get us to number 2. The only reason that they're number 1.
I already know you don't have the Chiefs at 2 because when we work down there for the Chiefs.
Yes, yeah. We're getting there. We'll get there.
I did wordplay. Why do you got? Man, I don't understand why you got the 49ers at number 2. Because I know that's what you're about to say.
Now, look, you're right. The only reason the 49ers are number 2 on my list is because somehow, now think about all the talk that everybody's been doing about Dak not doing well throwing the ball, right?
Uh-huh.
every single statistic. When I did this list first, I had the 49ers 1. That's why I brought the other part up. I have 49ers 1 off the flip and Cowboys 2. When I looked at the stats and for all the teams and compared everything, somehow, some way, the Cowboys passing the ball is like hands down more efficient than the 40. The 49ers are in the bottom 5 in defense against the pass and also passing the ball. They are literally just handing the ball off and winning these games. Like the passing game is the worst in the league. Brock Purdy right now, somehow, it's just because he doesn't have any turnovers that he looks like a good quarterback right now.
But do you realize, like, I'm not defending Brock Purdy or anything like that. Like, you already know, I'm not a Purdy. Like, I already said Purdy's not getting more than 30 million. Like, I already said that. But the thing you have to realize is because their defense always is getting stops and they get short field. So it's just like passing game is going to look small because they always had the number one defense. But I'm still confused on how
And you got
that
Christian McCaffrey back there.
right.
We'll have there's another segment on here that he's gonna get brought up also with Micah. There's a conversation to be had there. But yeah, what was you gonna say?
But I was just so still confused on how Cowboys won, 49ers is 2.
Mm-hmm.
But last time I checked, Cowboys could never beat the 49ers in the playoffs. When the 49ers had a better defense, the Chiefs beat them in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And
you're doing a lot of gymnastics.
I'm just still not trying to flip how the Chiefs are not number one. Like, none of these teams is like walking into a game is just like they're you remember back in the day when we both Chiefs homers and we've been in Chiefs games where it's just like we've been those type of fans like we can win if we do this and we do this and we do that. Yep. We literally at the point in our lives where we watching the Chiefs win all the time, we can literally walk in the game and be like, yeah, they're gonna win. Why do you think they're gonna win?
Pat Mahomes.
Why not? It's just easy. Like
we got Mahomes and we got Andy Reid. What you mean?
Right, it's just that simple. It's just like we don't have to make excuses like, oh man, if somebody's so and so, like, no, it's just like, and none of these other teams have a player like that where you could just be like, we're easy number one because we have the best player in the NFL, hands down. Like, we sucked and we still lost by 1 point. Like, I don't understand. Like, usually when teams suck like that, they lose by 10 at most.
Mm-hmm.
Against a fiery hot team that everybody analysts got sneaky fourth in Vegas betting odds to win the Super Bowl, and they beat us by 1 point because of a pick six and drop balls. Like, I don't see like that.
No, I get that.
I don't see it.
To me, the reason the Chiefs aren't 1 or 2 or 3.
Yeah, I know because... you had them at 4. Well, it's because you had them at 4 because you probably got Miami at 3.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I already know what you're doing.
Okay, before we get there, who do you have number 2? I'm assuming it's the Cowboys. You probably just have we have like the same list. You just have
Cowboys, 49ers. Yeah.
That's why I said I think the top 5 is almost like there's no arguments. You can move these 5 anywhere you want, and I would understand. You'd have a point. You'd have a valid argument. Like with the Chiefs is the Chiefs. I literally here on my list, right? I have notes for each team. And one of the notes for the Chiefs is, come on now. That's one of the notes. Come on now. Reed, Mahomes, Kelsey, Chris Jones. Like, come on. They've been doing it for 5 years or whatever now. Like, I understand that. But the defense is so, I guess that's really the take here. The Chiefs offense isn't clicking. That's the only thing. Now, will they get that together at the end of the year? Yeah.
But if they get it together at the end of the year, that's the best time you need to get it together because we're going to have a smooth sailing to the playoffs with our offense clicking, things like that. Like,
of course, I just
don't understand.
But right now, when I did mine, this is right now.
This is week 2.
Yes.
Power rankings, top 10 teams, week 2. I get that, but it's just like some other things have to factor in who you played, how you
Of course,
play
they
though.
do.
Like yeah, Miami's 2-0, but it's just like they also easily could have been 1-1 like the Chiefs if the Patriots didn't have Mac Jones and they snuffed up a lot of stuff. Like uh it's a lot of other takes as well because, like I said last week, what one thing Bill Belichick does? Take Tyreek Hill out the game, and what did he do? Yet take Tyreek Hill out the game,
That's true.
and then Miami was struggling, and now Waddle's in a concussion protocol.
Yeah, yeah.
So now it's just like if everybody start watching film, like what people do after week 2, going into week 3 and stuff like that, and figure out how to do it, what's now Miami offense gonna look like?
So you got Dolphins 4.
I do.
So we have the same thing. We have the same 4. Just you have the Chiefs at the top of the 4. I have the Chiefs at the bottom of the 4. Okay. Well, can I offer you the to go with what you're saying? Why you could? I'm perfectly fine with if you moving the Chiefs up to 3, mostly because I was looking at this and it doesn't make any sense. Somehow the Dolphins are giving up a lot of rushing yards. I don't even understand how that, because both games it didn't seem like they they got the ball ran on them, but somehow they're like 15, 17, 19 in every defensive rushing stat. I don't know how that is happening.
Well, we got to think the first game they played was the Chargers Austin Eckler.
True.
So yeah,
And
Chargers
he,
is gonna
but I
use
don't feel
Eckler.
like he really got off like that. It didn't seem like that.
Oh, I mean, he probably didn't score as much, but I feel like he was getting crazy. Like Eckler, he low key get busy. So I
Of
don't know what
course.
his week 1. I mean, he had a lot of probably scrimmage yards, but who? And then
Oh
week
yeah, yeah, yeah.
2,
Okay. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. Never mind. Oh shit. I didn't realize the Chargers ran the ball that much.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they had
Chargers
fucking
run.
200 plus yards rushing. That's why it looks like that. Okay. I was wondering, like, I don't understand what happened because I watched that
Chargers
whole
been
game. It just didn't
Chargers
feel like
been
that.
Chargers been running as soon as they had LaDainian Tomlinson in a franchise. They've been running since. They're just like, well, this is how you win, or make it to the playoffs at least, because they didn't win. But
All right, so we got same list. I have Cowboys, Niners, Dolphins, Chiefs. You have Chiefs,
Chiefs,
Cowboys, Niners,
Cowboys,
Dolphins.
right?
So okay, let's start with
So
you
we
for this
probably
one.
got the
Who you got
same one as
5?
that Eagles.
Eagles, same. Okay. So let's
Yeah, it's like
we okay, let's just throw
so,
those away. Because I feel like here is where it's gonna get a little sketchy for me.
yeah,
I'm
it
gonna have
will
to
be.
defend myself a little bit.
Yeah, you might
So
have
all
to.
right, you just start with you. Who you got 6?
I got surprisingly the Lions.
The Lions. Ah, see, this is where we differ at. Okay. Would you like to
Yeah,
expound?
they was my dark horse team anyway. So it's just like, but I do feel like in the NFC they can compete. Now, can they compete with the top NFC teams? No, but when we get to the top 10 teams and we start getting to 6, it's just like who's the
Yeah.
best out of like the
Yeah.
worst. So it's
Who's
just
the
like,
least mid? That's kind of what
yeah.
happened with me. Like, who's the least just average?
Yeah, so it's just like I don't, but I feel like the Lions could, like, if you meet them and
Mhm.
at they A game, even if it's not their A game, but if you're not at your best game, like how they did the Chiefs, they could beat you.
Yeah.
And then I feel like in the first round of the playoffs, they might meet a team like that and win the first round this year. Like,
Now, I'm about to say I got scared off a little bit by how easily they let the Seahawks come back like that, being up 2 scores or whatever they were up by. So at 6, and I have some more stats.
Seahawks.
Sorry. No, at 6, now this is it's gonna sound crazy, but I have a defense for this. At 6, I
Rams.
have the Rams.
Yeah, I figured.
I have the Rams. They stomped the Seahawks. The score looked like what the score was, but they stomped them worse than the score looked, right? Just up front, it's somehow with just fucking me and you and Aaron Donald going out there. They just went out there and just made the Seahawks look bad, who in turn go and beat the Lions. So to me, it was a little of like paper rock
Now, was
scissors
that
going
game?
on.
That game was at home though, right? With the Rams, with the Lions.
Uh,
Yeah,
I
because
think
it
so.
wasn't in the
Yeah.
dome. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
home
Yeah.
game with the Rams and the Lions. Okay,
Mhm.
so
Now,
I don't even have the Rams in my top 10. So
and then the other part is the game they just had against the 49ers where they actually look like a real football team. So I had them winning like 2 or 3 games this year, four
it's
max.
so many other teams in the AFC that's better than the Rams. That's why I'm getting it right now. It's just
But
like I don't
you're gonna hate the
even with
rest of my
like
list.
like you probably got
But
I just don't
so listen
understand
to
like
this. Check this out. All right. And they did this against the 49ers. So half of these stats from this season is coming from going against arguably the best, second best defense in the league. But right now, damn this shit. Okay. But right now, they are first in what is it? They're first in points per possession. So they average at every time they get the ball, they at least kick a field goal, which means they're moving the ball. They're the best
yes,
team at
but
moving the ball up the field.
that stat could be screwed because it's like
Of
points per
course.
possession. Because how many possessions do they get per another team who gets it more than them?
Yeah.
Because they defense gets quicker 3 and outs and things like that.
But that's why
There's
the Chiefs are ahead of them. Because okay, that was the other thing why I forgot to point out with the Chiefs. They're fifth. Every other stat they have is terrible, right? When you go look at the Chiefs shit, if I was just going off just the stat stuff, the Chiefs would be they might have barely scraped it. They might be at 9 or 10, right? But
right.
but their one thing that stands out, as bad as that the offense was, as bad as the receivers were, they're fifth in yards per play. So every time they do get a playoff, they get big plays off still, right?
Right.
But that's the reason. The reason I don't have the Chiefs, or I have the Chiefs there and the Rams and Eagles here, or whatever, is because the Rams have finished drives. You got to finish drive. To me, that's a big thing when I'm watching the game. Like I don't give a fuck how well oiled everything is. You got to finish drives, and the Rams are finishing drives with fucking
And
Puka
but
Nakatua
yeah, right. With
Umaga.
the which is the take on hint, hint, might be rookie offensive rookie of the year this year. People a sleeper if you still a betting man.
Oh
Go ahead
yeah,
and put him in. If he's getting
Puka
15
Natua.
targets, go ahead and put him in there and put him on your parlay because if he's getting 15 receptions a game,
He's basically just Cooper Cup right
he is
now.
the man. Yeah, exactly. So betting man, offensive rookie of the year.
But
There we
here's some
go.
more. They're
But
second in third down conversions.
okay.
Oh shit. They're second in third down conversions. They're tied for first in red zone percentage, touchdowns. So they're tied for first. I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, it's 82%. So they're they're 6 for 8 in the red zone, scoring touchdowns. And that's what I mean by they're finishing drives, not with field goals. They are scoring touchdowns. They're getting into the red zone and scoring
Mm-hmm.
touchdowns
What
on a
is the
consistent
Rams
basis.
record right now? 1-1, right?
Yes. But the
Right.
one is to the 49ers. That's the other part here. So it's not like they lost uh, uh, to a bum. You know what I
Didn't
mean?
they get what was the 49ers Rams game? Score 27-30, right? Or 27
No, it was 30 to
30 20, 30
yeah,
20.
30-20. Yeah, because they
Yeah,
kicked a
because he
field
kicked that
goal at the
late field
end
goal.
to cover the spread.
So they technically lost by 13 points. I'm not doing
Kind
that
of,
right
yeah.
now.
But they look better than the Steelers look like they a college team compared to them. But and that
Right.
goes
But
in
that's hence why the Steelers not on any of our top 10. But
now
unless you got them on
here's the next here that leads me into this weird there's some more paper rock scissors going on here that led me to the Rams being at 6 because at 7 I have the Ravens.
oh my lord. They not even on my top 10.
It's Lamar to me. Lamar looks so good. It's tough. Week 1 was
I'm
Texans and he should have looked better, but he corrected a lot of that in the next week. It's not like the Bengals defense is just horrific. They're average. And he went out there and really lit them up. They kind of just covered in the end once they took their foot off the brake.
Okay, well,
Oh, wait, who do you have six? Because I didn't moved on to seven. But who you got six?
the Bills.
The Bills. Ah, you trust you trust Josh Allen? That's the
It
real.
ain't this ain't trust, but you to be honest, I don't even have Josh Allen coming out my divisional round the way
Mm,
my thing is coming. I trust him
mm.
enough to get to the divisional round and lose to either the Chiefs or the Dolphins.
Ah, okay.
That's
I
how
can see
much I
that.
trust him.
I can see that. Okay, so who do you have eight?
Chargers.
You got what?
The
What?
Chargers.
The
They are
Chargers eight?
sneaky, scary late of the season team. They've been that since Herbert. They will sneak up in you like they snuck into the
And
playoffs
blow a
last
lead in
year.
the fourth quarter.
But they would take somebody else's. Yeah, you go see the rest of my. You seem NFC strong and I'm AFC strong on this side.
A little bit. A little
Yeah,
bit, yeah.
you NFC strong. You defensively. I'm thinking like yeah.
Yeah,
At the
because I
end of the
got
day,
what?
like
One, two,
Chiefs
three,
already proved
four.
you
I
can
got
make it
four
to at
out of
least
10 are AFC. That's it.
exactly. And I probably got 7 as
Okay.
AFC.
So the
Chiefs.
rest of your teams are AFC teams.
Yes, there are. And it's
You're
not based off 2 weeks. It's based off like this is based off longevity and what I think right now what they could be at the end of the season going into. Like week 2, I could do a week 2 top 10, but it's just like
no,
I'm
I
just
get
gonna put
that.
everybody that's 2-0 at the top, and
Nah,
then
you can't do that.
yeah, right. So it's just like I'm going off of who you play, what you got next week, injury report, and things on that nature. Because it's just like my next team, which is 9, is the Bengals.
Okay, so
And
hold on,
he
hold on,
out
hold on,
for
hold on.
4 weeks
Let's
though.
stop for a second. You got 6, you got Lions.
Right,
7, you got Bills.
right.
Okay.
Two teams that's gonna lose in the divisional round.
Okay. Now 7, now 8, you have the
Chargers,
Chargers. Now 8, I have the
Chargers.
Bills 8.
Okay,
So we have them roughly in the same area code. So we kind of agree a little bit right there where the Bills are in a similar situation. But I can't believe the Chargers. The
right.
Chargers with the most expensive defense in the NFL, and also basically in the like the bottom third in every category on defense somehow. Now, Herbert is Herbert, and that's the
Right,
saving grace
and that's the
for your pick
saving grace
here.
on why he's at. I don't.
Yeah,
I think he's like. I think he real. I think Herbert's real good to be
of
perfectly
course.
honest.
Yes.
So I just like last year. I think he can get them where they did, get them a lead, and then just gonna choke it again because that's what they do. I
Okay.
don't think, and then them choking 28, 27 points last year wasn't Herbert's fault. Yeah, Herbert didn't score more, but he gave y'all a 28-point lead, point blank. It's just like I don't understand how that's not just a Herbert problem. That's a team problem at that point.
Yeah.
So it's
But
just
that's the
like,
problem is the team. That's why I don't even have him in the top 10.
yeah, but if he's the saving grace right now. He's definitely that saving grace for the Chargers, and it's always the Chargers. Like somehow they always squeak into the playoffs. It's been like that since we was kids.
Well, yeah. Now,
Chargers been in the play. I'm just like the Chargers. Some teams have a history of just making it to the playoffs somehow, some way.
yeah. Now in my
This,
list, they make the wild card. If you're going off the 10 that I have here, I have basically it's if for divisions, it would be Dolphins,
right?
Chiefs, Ravens,
Yeah,
and
the
then
Chargers is my wild card team. They basically the wild
the
card,
Jags basically automatically
and that's
win
and
the
they
division. And
yeah
so
that
the
man,
wild
but
cards would be Bills, Chargers for me. So then
yeah.
that would be the right based
So
off of
our
the
nine
week
ten
two
is
stuff.
just different because our 9-10 is probably just different.
Yeah,
You
buddy.
probably got Vikings or some shit on there.
So who'd you have 9 again?
Bengals.
You have the oh see that okay. So we have our list. Or your list is you looking at the end of the season, and I'm looking at right now in the near future in the next couple of weeks
And
how
not
stuff
even
could look.
I mean not even in I feel like I'm gonna say if I'm not mistaken, the Bengals schedule is pretty favorable to where their backup could come in and win at least one.
You would be wrong. I went through this in the first week. You'd be very wrong.
I don't know.
Specifically, the next couple of weeks are really bad. So let's go. We can go through the Bengals schedule real quick. Right?
Before we start acting like you try to get it. Already, what NFC South team you got at 9 that you about to really piss me off?
Oh no! It's not in it.
Okay, just like South team. I was like, okay, good. All right, good. Let's go on the Bengals schedule then.
Okay. You're gonna hate 9. Don't. I'm just gonna warn anybody listening. People are gonna hate 9, but I watched both games and I have a very strong feeling about the team that I have in 9. But okay, so next week they have the Rams.
Right.
That's gonna be. I don't really know how to feel about that.
Yeah, Burrow not playing. Probably the next 4 weeks.
He definitely not playing next week. You want to go see Aaron Donald with the line looking like that? No way. Exactly.
But they line did get upgraded. Didn't they get Orlando Brown?
Yeah, and he's trash.
Yeah, that's why we didn't pay him.
That's how we had to chip every play. We had to send a tight end or a running back to chip every single play last year on Orlando Brown. So 4, they got the Titans. Another one. I'm not necessarily just throwing them straight back out to that. They can, but well, yeah, with the backup. I'm not throwing Burrow out there to that defense either. Fuck no, not happening.
No.
Week 5 Cardinals. Cool. That should be a dub, even with the backup. You should be able to go out there and do something. Generate some type of offense with a healthy quarterback with 2 legs. 6 is Seahawks. That's probably an L to me. 7 is they bye week. When they come out they bye week, this is where it's gonna hurt, right? You're at the Niners, fresh off a bye week.
Right.
Then you play the Bills the week after that. Then you get a break and you play the Texans. Then you play Ravens, but that's a divisional game.
Right.
And you're at Baltimore. Then you play the Steelers week 12, another weird divisional game.
They play us too, don't they?
Who?
They play the Chiefs this year, don't they?
Yeah. Well, we ain't even got there yet. That's the problem. Week 13, you got the Jags, who, they look okay. I'll give you my Jags take when we get to the end.
Yeah, all right.
14's the Colts, who could be rolling by then if Anthony Richardson kind of gets not
out for concussion.
Basically, doesn't get his
not run.
Yeah. If he doesn't get his brain exploded by week 14, they could be a solid team.
Because they think this is the NCAA. I don't know what we think.
Well, he's big. Weird. He's a big kid, man. He's 6'4", 250.
So is Derrick
he's huge,
Henry.
bro.
So is all these Josh Allen. Look at
Yeah. My argument is put bigger pads on Anthony Richardson. That man has the tiniest shoulder pads I've ever seen.
He got to get NFL that arm player
weird. It's so weird. The next time you go look at some highlights from last week, and he has the smallest pad. They barely go over the end of his shoulder. They just
that man said, "I need full rotation with this shoulder,
bruh,
coach.
Give me the youth large shoulder pads." But week 15, they have the Vikings, which by then could just be who knows is playing quarterback. Who knows what's going on with the Vikings by then.
Speaking of the Vikings.
Hey, I've been saying to everybody, hey, Justin Jefferson ain't gonna sit there for too long and just be.
No, I'm just talking about. I'm just trying to think of your number 9 team.
No, it ain't.
Vikings
that ain't it.
Packers.
No, I have the. I think the Vikings are gonna fall off the face of the earth here in the next couple of weeks. I don't think they got it. It's just something they got all the pieces. Just
hey.
But
I got a parlay out with the Vikings winning the division.
Good luck with that. Good luck. But yeah, then they have they're at the Steelers again. Then it's Chiefs, Browns. It's tough. It's a tough schedule to end the year with.
But
I
got the Bengals at 9. Yeah. I got them at 9. It ain't like, I trust Burrow, but it's just like, what I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 17. I got them as maybe a wild card team, 16, because I don't got them winning the division. I got the Ravens winning the division, even though they're not in my
Mm-hmm.
top 10 right now. I got the Ravens winning the division.
I'm with that. I could see them sneaking in if Burrow gets back healthy. But a calf that's
It
tough.
is a difficult schedule,
And the
but
schedule, yeah. Well,
yeah,
injured Burrow, the line is trash, and their schedule is ridiculous. You play the
yeah,
best
but
defensive line. You play 6 of the best 10 defensive lines for basically the whole end of the year. That's how you end the last 12 games out, is playing the best defensive lines in the league over and over again, except the Bills and the Texans. But okay, so you got okay. We're here now. I can't keep beating around the bush. I'll give you my 9. And it sounds so. It doesn't. I know it's gonna sound crazy, but at 9, I have Jordan Love in the Green Bay Packers.
I told you, I said the Packers. This is I said
That's what I
after you
got.
said after you said the Vikings. That's what I said. Speaking of the Vikings, you probably got the Packers. You said after watching the games because everybody's watching the
Mm-hmm.
games and all this, and yeah, the Pack.
Yeah, I have the Packers
The
9.
I
They
I just
can't.
a
Let
top
me
team.
let me give you the
I just
rundown.
but the stats is I don't need the
It's not the
rundown from
stats.
the
It's not just the
stats.
stats. It's
Like
not just the stats.
yeah,
Watching them,
eye
I
test is just not
the
Jordan Love. Eye test is not getting me yet.
okay. Jordan Love. Jordan Love is an aside, right?
But at the end of the day, that's what it is, though. If our
I
quarterback
understand,
don't look good, then we don't like
but he
watching
don't
the
look
team.
bad. I'll take not good and not bad. I'll take
Yes,
that.
I wouldn't want to look at Marcus Mariota for 16 games, 17 games. Like that's exactly. It's just like, oh yeah, did he snap? I mean, did he like trip? What did he trip over? And he fell into his line. Like,
Supposedly he was supposed to be going for a QB sneak, but the center didn't snap the ball, so it just looked goofy. So he was supposedly he gave him a tap or whatever to snap the ball, and he didn't snap it. So he's getting ready to go, and he just fall over. It looked terrible. But let me give you my thoughts on why I got the Packers 9.
all right,
Watching the games, as I mentioned earlier, watching the games, I feel like out of every other team, like who are the if we start naming off the best offenses in the league, right? You're gonna have Chiefs, you're gonna say Bengals, you're gonna say Bills. All the best quarterbacks in the league play like garbage outside of Josh Allen, but they played the Raiders, right?
right.
If you throw all they all look bad. The only team that I watched on Sunday where I felt like wow, they are actually time in and time out executing the offense at a high level, crazy as it sounds, and maybe they're just running the ball and throwing screens, sure.
Yeah,
But
that's
it's the
exactly what
Packers.
it is.
But they're executing those simple
Yeah, but
plays
they're executing because
better
the
than
coach is
anybody else
like,
in the league, though.
yes, because the coach is like, bro, take the snap, look to your left. That is your pass. Like you have to do that. Like it.
Now, and if we being honest, if you really think about it, the whole Bears game, Jordan Love cooked that defense easy, right? He made every throw. He didn't look bad at all in the Bears game. In the Falcons game, it's really only the first possession was bad. He went like 1 for 6. That was bad. And the
Right.
fourth quarter was bad. Everything else was top
It
tier.
was
They look like the best offense in the league right now, damn near. And for me, it might not be okay. So here's the stats to back some of that up. First of all, I wrote this down, but I knew it felt dumb writing it down. They've only trailed for 5 minutes in either game.
okay.
That's it. They trailed. The Falcons kicked a field goal at the end of the first quarter, and they never trailed. They scored in the first 2 minutes of the second quarter. They never trailed again until the Falcons won the game on a field goal, and they went
So
three. They went 3 and out in the fourth quarter.
Wait, so they never
Yes,
trailed until they
but
lost.
yeah, and they lost by 1. They lost by 1 to a solid Falcons team.
Yeah, it does.
It's a solid Falcons team. They not solid.
Oh my god. The
They not
NFC is
solid.
so weak. They solid because the NFC is weak.
How the NFC is weak,
Yeah.
but they are what 6-0 against AFC teams this year. So they're not. They can't be that weak. They're beating
Falcons.
AFC teams.
What I guarantee you, like the Falcons is not beating the Chiefs. They're not beating Miami. They're not beating the Bills. They're not beating Cleveland right now. They're not beating Cincy with Burrow, Ravens. I'm
What?
talking Chargers. They're not beating the Chargers.
They're not beating the Chargers. Are you
The
serious?
the Falcons is not beating the
If
Chargers.
they
I
take the
guarantee that.
air out of the ball, if they run the ball, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna
The
run the
Falcons
ball
is not
30 times.
the Falcons is
We're not arguing about the
the
Falcons.
Falcons is
I don't
probably
even have
like
the
the
Falcons on the
15th
list.
best.
Yeah, I
Right,
don't even have them
exactly.
on
That's
my
why.
list.
That's
But
why.
I think watching the defense is a great defense. It's not top tier defense. It's above average.
Right. It's not great. It's
Yeah.
good.
It's good defense. Yeah. It's even the stats say they're just above average.
You're right. They you know.
But do
if
you
you got
realize,
a competent quarterback, then they can win.
Do you realize only the Cowboys who scored 40 on the Giants, the Cowboys are the only team that has scored more points than the Packers. They put up 38 and 25, albeit against what you would say is bad defense, but they still had to go do it. Right?
Right. But Falcons and Bears?
Yes. Giants and Jets. You could do Rams and whatever, you know what I mean? We could do
Lions and Jags. Best defense. But whatever. That's all I'm saying.
Man.
Like, all I'm doing is prove
the team tied with the Rams for number one in red zone touchdown percentage is the Packers. So I can't. To me, I feel like a lot of what has happened is like how you look at it is they're bad teams, right? But then other teams have played teams that are bad teams. The Rams were coming into the season were a bad team. The Buccaneers were a bad team. The Cardinals were a bad team. Like there's a bunch of these bad
but the
teams.
Bucks played like the Panthers.
They played the Vikings
and
they played
Saints. No.
Damn, now I just Googled Saints. Jesus.
They're about to play the Eagles this week.
They played the Bears.
Oh.
So they played the Vikings and the Bears. But that's what I mean. There's a lot of that going on. There's no reason why are the Cardinals hanging in games. Why are the Commanders 2-0 right now? There's a lot of weird stuff going on this season.
Well, because the Commanders played the Giants.
Now let's go to 10, and I want to come back to what we're talking about. Who do you have 10?
Jags.
Okay, I have the Lions 10. So we literally have we only have I think 2 different teams in our list. I have the Packers and the Rams, and you have the Jags and the Bengals.
The Chargers.
Oh, and the Chargers. I have the Ravens. That's the third one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got the Jags.
The Jags. You want to hear something really sad? The Jags have the least amount of first downs in the league. Not third down conversions, the least amount of first downs, period. They can't get a first down. And then the defensive numbers their numbers are juiced to the gill. So you could look at it like, oh, the Jags are a good defense, or you could look at it, they've been out there for 150 snaps already.
Yeah, but if that's the case, then
they
would be a little tired to where. I mean,
that's why they're getting cooked. That's why the Colts put up numbers on them. That's why the Chiefs, who's a struggling offense right now, still scored on them twice. Well, touchdown wise.
Right. But at the end of the day, it still comes to Mr. Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence can do everything he wants to.
They probably want. They got a young offense as well, to be perfectly honest. So, second year under Doug Peterson, that win last year in the playoffs is definitely gonna be like fire under them. So I mean, I just feel like I got the Jags going to the AFC Championship this year.
That's they gotta
So
really turn it around then.
Jags versus the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs beating the Cowboys
And
in the
no,
Super Bowl.
I had it backwards. I had this backwards. The Jags are last in third down conversions, not first downs. They're 20th in first downs. I think they have 6 third down conversions. Does that make you feel good about them making the playoffs? Well, they're going to make the playoffs because they're the AFC South winners.
Right. They're gonna make it.
And I
And all they
feel
gotta
like
do is come back from a 27-point deficit. But which they've done
to
before.
another team
So
that's
what
on your
is
list again.
it? Right,
It'll
but
be
then again I'll be right. But
true.
so
I
it's just
just
like
there are we talk about us struggling. The Jags are struggling even worse on offense. They scored 30, but that's against the Colts. Can you name 3 play? I can name 2 players on a defense off the top of my head. Can you name me the
I'm not
3 players off of their defense?
I'm not trying no yeah, well, I ain't 12 and Bob Sanders don't play there no more. So and then
I
he was always hurt. So
true.
it's just like
But it's
but
just there's a lot of red flags with the Jags
they ain't
because
got Leonard no more, do they? No, it's just
right.
like
Well, I think
that
he
man was.
technically
Mm,
still on the team.
is he?
Yeah, he changed his name and shit. Remember?
Hell no. That man need to retire. He been playing for a minute.
Yes, he's still on. He's still
Yeah,
Shaq. Wasn't his name Darius Leonard at first?
it
Now
was.
his name is Shaq Leonard. Yeah, he's only 28 years old.
Wait, what?
Yes,
I thought he'd been in the league for like 9 years though.
I know. He's been in the league since
At least.
2018. Oh, that's why. Because his first year was his best year. His rookie year was his best year. I'm looking at
He
it
had like
now.
a
Yeah,
108
he had
tackles or some shit like
163 total tackles and 7 sacks.
that. Oh,
Yeah, he
damn,
was
yeah.
going crazy.
Darius, yeah. He ain't had
That's
100 tackles
why.
since.
No, he had 100 tackles. He had just 121, 132, 122. Just last year, he only played 3 games because he like broke his
Uh,
back or some shit like that 2 years ago. He had a real bad
he's
injury.
only 28.
Yes, I didn't know that. That fucked me up just now.
When he get drafted. Yeah, I'm confused as hell. Like
Had to be
28.
18. 2018 is when he got drafted. He was
Oh,
23. It's 5 years ago. Yeah.
nah, he got to be older than that. He lying.
He looked like
That's
that too. That's
the
the funny part.
that man lying. He ain't no goddamn 28.
But so let's run. I'm gonna run down my list and then you give your
Yeah,
list. So
yeah.
my top 10 in week 2 is number 1, Cowboys, number 2, 49ers, number 3, Dolphins, number 4, Chiefs, number 5, Eagles, number 6, Rams, 7, Ravens, 8, Bills, 9, Packers, and 10, Lions.
Mm.
Now, could you give your
Yes,
list,
sir.
sir?
I got 1 Chiefs, Cowboys at 2, 49ers at 3, Miami at 4, Eagles at 5, Lions at 6, Bills at 7, Chargers at 8, Bengals at 9, Jags at 10.
Hmm. We have pretty similar lists. That's the funny part. All of the arguments that we've had so far, it's funny to think that like there's 7. We have the same 7 teams.
It's just like these the best 7 teams. Everybody else is
Yeah,
just like throw them in the mix.
it's funny to
However
think
you feel.
we said it coming in. The top 5 is basically like that's locked in. If you argue
Yeah.
that, it's wherever you want to move those 5. I'd be okay with
You got arguments with it right now, but the other
Yeah.
ones is just like, what do you think?
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because to me, the Packers thing, I think the most likely scenario is they fall off a little and struggle and probably just stumble into the playoffs because the Vikings are bad. You know what I mean? That'd be the most realistic scenario for them, a good season for them right now. But I think part of it is Jordan Love played like the whole preseason.
Right.
And I wonder if all these high-end defenses basically outside of the Dolphins struggling this year, and the quarterbacks specifically having struggles. Do you think any of that has anything to do with the lack of playing in the preseason these days? The fact that there's only 3 and starters essentially don't play at all till week 1.
Um, I would say yeah until I saw Chris Jones' performance.
That's yeah. But
So it's hard to say because
but
it's
that's a
like
defensive player.
I think,
I'm specifically more pointing towards the lack of
but
offense right now.
but
Because defense is
offense,
defense. Like Chris Jones
yeah,
is literally like, hey, run pass left right. That's what you're doing
yeah. But so
as
and
a
so at the end of
defensive lineman.
the day, as a quarterback, then yeah, lack of preseason does, especially as a new quarterback like Jordan Love, because you need chemistry, especially because he's not as close with his receivers like Aaron Rodgers will be or Pat Mahomes. He can't call up a like, let's do a meeting. Let's go work out at Cabo for 2 weeks and
Yeah,
everything else like that. He can't because they're not that close, so it's just like that. So yeah, preseason is big for a quarterback like Jordan Love because he needs to get that chemistry, the on field chemistry. Now off the field chemistry, that just works how it works.
right.
But on field chemistry, he needs that with them because he never played with them. Just like we can see right now with Pat Mahomes, on field chemistry, it's not working right now with the. Even
Yeah,
though he does work out with those receivers, you can tell it's not as much as. Even though Miko not getting no clock with the Jets, him and Miko had a on field
yeah,
chemistry, like, and
yeah. Here,
then
catch
you
this
could
jet sweep.
right. Or like you got a fade route, go get it.
Yeah, I'm
But
just
it's
tossing
like,
up.
but but they also younger receivers, as in like the Packers as well, younger receivers. Like
Yeah,
they're not old, so it's just like younger receivers still trying to get a feel of like how NFL plays and um how each quarterback worked. All of them worked with Aaron Rodgers last year, so now
mm-hmm.
they're trying to work with Jordan Love this year, and they got 3 games in the preseason where yeah, I worked out against the second team defense, but now I'm playing against a first team defense. They all gonna read shit and they quicker to different reads and shit like that. It's
So
all
you
different.
basically you don't think it
Like
matter. You're kind of more of like the preseason kind of doesn't mean that much.
it does with younger players, I feel like, but if it's like
But
an
like the Eagles,
established
do you like because the Eagles offense
no, well
specifically
they're
passing
the
is
same.
they're
It's
totally
the
off right
same.
now.
But yeah, they're off, but I don't think they're off because they're not in chemistry. I think they have other issues that's off
Hmm.
because it's the same Eagles the offense from last year. You still got the same core offensive line,
Yeah.
quarterback. The only thing difference is uh maybe running back. Uh they don't have Miles
Yeah.
Sanders no more,
So
but they
Swift
got
and Gainwell.
and Goddard is gone, right?
Yeah.
Dallas Goddard is gone, but you still got your 2 main receivers, your line,
Where is
your
Goddard at?
quarterback. He went to the Cowboys, right? Or am I thinking of Gabbard?
I think Goddard's still there. Yeah, he's
Goddard is
still
there.
there. Yeah.
All right. Well, then there you go.
But that's my thing. I think my
So they didn't. I don't think they needed preseason because, but that's why I said theirs is not chemistry, on field chemistry. Theirs is more like, yo, like, what's up? Last year we was doing this. This year is different. Why am I not like?
I think I think it's the same thing. I think they got a new offensive coordinator. I think you right now what we're seeing, like I think part of the reason why somebody like the Commanders are humming right now. If I remember correctly, Sam Howell played like the whole preseason. Same with Jordan Love. I think that's what we're seeing right now is some of these teams that are Bengals, Bills, Chiefs, Eagles, basically any team that relies on throwing the ball right now is kind of been struggling a little bit. And I think it's 2 things from the preseason. I think timing with receivers is that's the weirdest thing from a quarterback perspective. I think that you could actually get something good out of playing preseason is just getting timing
Timing
with
with
your
your receivers,
guys.
yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing is the fat boys up front. If they don't hit nobody for 7 months and your first time hitting people is in week 1 and playing together is week 1, that's a problem too. So I think the O line definitely loses out on a lot.
But a
Same thing,
lot of
just
these
chemistry.
but the thing about it is, a lot of these quarterbacks that didn't play in the preseason are also the
Vets.
multi-million dollar
Yeah, like the
quarterbacks.
best
It's
quarterbacks in the
like
league. Yeah,
I can't get my quarterback hurt in the preseason
of
trying to
course not.
figure out if he got chemistry with this one guy because I like him so much.
But then
He
you
gonna
go
have to show me I like him with another quarterback because he's worth 50 million.
true.
Jordan Love's not worth 50 million. Uh
Sam Howell.
Sam Howell's not worth 50
Yeah,
million.
yeah,
Things like they gotta go out and prove what my offense is going to look like if I put y'all against starters. Patrick Mahomes don't have to prove
yeah.
what our offense look like without against starters and things like that
The
because we
crazy
know
thing
we've
is,
got two Super
Pat
Bowls.
played the Chiefs
Right.
starters played in the
Well, no, they
preseason.
played, but it's just like they didn't play as much as
They didn't
them
play a
because he
lot. Yeah,
doesn't
no,
have
no,
to
no, no.
prove. All the reason why Pat Mahomes is playing is because they want them to get like the hitting sensation and
Of
shit like
course,
that. But
but
it's
I
just
think the
like
teams can benefit from that, and that kind of goes to the next point here too. Like, I think a part of the reason that there is so much weird, so much weird parity and good teams beating bad teams and bad teams looking like good teams is a symptom of that. Like, you don't have to. What is the? There was another thing in the CBA that they had where they can't you can't do two a days.
you're talking
And
about
yeah,
you're talking about the CBA for football.
for football, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you can't do two a
No.
days, and you have I think it's like one day out of the week is like film, so you can't even practice one of those days. You have to only do film, no preseason. So we talking about dudes, you can't do that on offense. On defense, you can get away with it, and I think that's what's happening right now. Is we've seen a lot of solid defenses that by the end of the year we're going to be like, what was going on? Like the Commanders. How did the Commanders
Yeah.
start the season like this, like with a defense that's very mid and a bad offense? I think it's mostly because all those guys played the whole preseason because they suck. I think that's the real thing. Is just you get it's like a race.
Right.
Not if you faster than me clearly, but if we was the same speed, right? If we both ran the same 40 time. If I'm running, if I get a 10-yard head start, not even a head start, but I'm 10 yards behind you and I start first, I'm gonna beat you in this race because I'm at full speed way before you get going. And I
Well,
think that's what
that
we
mean
seeing
that
too. I think
that
that's
just
the main symptom is these guys
if
have been
we
playing
well the thing
they've
about
been playing for a
it
month.
right but is that means they gonna hit
They're gonna hit a wall. That's that's I think that's the other side of this.
but
By the end of the season,
the
it'll
thing
even
about
out.
it it's not even that it's not even hitting the wall is the tape.
Yeah.
That's why you see teams getting better and teams declining by
Mm-hmm.
week 6 7 is because these defensive coordinators is now getting tapes on these younger quarterbacks tendencies and things like
Yes.
that. Like
But
you're not going to see you remember what I said with the Jets when they beat the Bills.
mm-hmm.
I said they're not going to win another divisional game no more. They're going to go 1-5. It's because there's going to be so much tape
The
out there
film is
on
out.
Zach Wilson. It's just going to be
The
like
film is
it's
out on
out.
him already.
Yeah, well, I mean it is, but it's just like it's gonna be more. As in, like we
Yeah.
might get 4 picks today, y'all. Just everybody just have their hands ready,
Get ready.
like, like
Run left
so.
and get ready. Because he finna run
So,
right and try to throw it back in
so
bounds.
it's just like as much as you want to get your players ready because they're younger players and chemistry and everything like that, you also got to sacrifice these other defensive coordinators going to have film on my player
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. I see that. But the other thing to that I was looking at was if you're a team like the Bengals right now with a schedule like they have and a couple injuries here and there, you can't afford to start off like that. With a schedule the
No,
way they got, you can't afford to start off
especially with a tight
2 and
AFC. No,
4 in your first 6 game or whatever they could be. Like
no, with a tight AFC like this, no,
you
you
can't
can't.
afford that. But that's
But
kind of what I mean.
you
You
can't
also can't
afford
afford your
a
guy to get
player
hurt in the
injury
preseason.
though.
Yeah.
Let's say you can't afford a player injury as well. Like
But guess
they
what?
just
Joe Burrow got hurt in practice.
right.
So that's
I
why
get
it's like you're playing football like the if you're gonna get hurt,
well,
you're gonna get hurt. It's not really no avoid.
yeah, but it's just like you try to minimize when it happens. Like I ain't gonna say like it. I want him, but you would rather him get hurt in a game rather than in practice
That's fair.
or in a preseason. Because like even if he get hurt in the game, at least he was ready and up to that game, and then everybody had like I don't know.
I get what
It
you're
sucks to
saying.
say it, but it's just like I would rather him because in practice it's just like damn, like
Yeah, this
I,
what can you do? Like we gotta practice. Yeah, I can't do nothing about this. Yeah, I
but
get
in
that.
a
I
game,
just it's just
yes,
a thought I wanted to throw out there because I think it does matter. I don't think it
no,
matters.
I mean,
I don't think you should. Okay, let's all play. Every starter need to play every snap of the
no,
third
that's not
game. No,
what
no,
it
no, no.
is. But
I think a
I just
little
feel
bit
like
in every game. That's probably the best way. Play the first couple possessions of all the preseason games just to get out there, get moving. Because if you're gonna
yeah,
get
but
hurt
Pat
like Burrow got
Mahomes
hurt, you're
did
gonna get
what
hurt
was it?
regardless.
Pat Mahomes didn't get touched not once in preseason.
No, he did that. He did. When we played the Saints, he ran the ball
He on
and tried to like.
purpose.
Yeah, he tried to like.
Yeah,
He act like he was gonna try to truck the dude, and then he just fell down. That was the only
yeah,
time he
on
got
purpose.
touched. Yeah.
But in the pocket, not once. Then like,
No, no,
but
no.
so it's just like that. Even if your starters is playing, they worth $50 million and stuff like 40, $50 million.
Mm-hmm.
The offensive coordinator is scheming up quick passes to get the ball out their hand quick. You, you're not gonna you're gonna think you got the best offensive line in the preseason. Be like, oh my god, he's blocked. The pocket is so perfect. And then week one comes, it's like, why my
Getting
quarterback get sacked
killed.
4 times? It's
Yeah.
just like he in preseason looks so good. Yes, because they trying to get the ball out in 1 second. The screens
True.
because they not trying to see what the quarterback look like. They're trying to see what the running back can look like in these situations, and they're trying to see what the receiver can look like in these
The
situations.
fourth string receiver.
The
Yeah, yeah.
right, it's just like, yeah, okay, I got the ball out quick. Let me see if my running back can break a tackle if needed. Like it's
Yeah.
just, they do slick shit like that. That's why they do it.
Yeah. Just a thought I wanted to throw out there, just because I had a little thing here too. There was 4 games that were decided by more than that, at least 10 points. Every other game was basically a 1-score game. That's out of 16 games. 12 of them were 1-score games. I just think there's something weird going on here. I don't know if it's preseason. I don't know if it's the lack of practice. I don't know what it is.
I just call that the beginning of the season. No, so I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody, defensive change, offensive change, coaching change, things change, philosophies, everything like that. So it's just like there you go. Even though the Chiefs is the same Chiefs, same quarterback, head coach, offensive coordinator change. Got a different quarterback coach.
Yeah.
Don't have Juju, don't have Miko no more. Is a switch in the running back group. Travis got hurt. Defense is totally different. Like it's just like
Just a
our
lot
D
of
line is
stuff.
crazy. Like
Getting
so, it's just
used to
like
things. Yeah.
yeah. So you got to get used chemistry, like because if people think it's so simple, it's like this the defensive call, that's the offensive call. There we go. These
Right.
D line got a different signal for like if they see something, they could call something as the D line, like yo, like
Mm-hmm.
this is something
You
we need to
stunt.
do it.
He
Yeah.
about to crash.
Then
You stunt, and
some
we
of that
gonna get a
stuff is
sack.
like
Yeah.
their own calls. Like Chris Jones is smart enough; he's been playing long enough to where if he sees something, he'll move. That's why you see him
Spags really
tackle.
put
That's
Chris
why you see him
Jones out on the
on the
end
DE. And he's
on the
starting to do it more
because
why
the
in
tackle is a
the
rookie.
Bengals game.
That's
Yeah,
why.
but and the thing is, in the Bengals game when we won the AFC Championship game, he got his key winning sack on Joe Burrow where from the edge.
Mm-hmm. Because we just gonna
That's
pick
what
on your worst lineman. Who's your worst
and
lineman? We putting Chris Jones on him.
that's why I
That's
said,
serious.
and I was literally in the car today talking to my friend, my boy about what we should do against Jalen Hurts, and I was like, we should definitely go 3-4 against Jalen Hurts, unless it's a passing down, then go 4-3
We ain't got
because
the linebackers for that.
our linebacker core is crazy. That's what people think.
It,
Young, fast, athletic. That's Tranquil coming off
Tranquil is
100.
a safety, really.
He's a
Just being honest.
linebacker. He had 146 tackles last year.
Yeah, yeah.
You got
He's
Willie
more.
Gay, Bolton. And then we
But
should go
who?
3-4.
Okay, we going 3-4. Let's do this thought experiment. If we
But
go three
but I'm
four,
saying is
my 2 middle linebackers are Chenal and Bolton. My my left outside linebacker
Gay
is
and
Willie Gay.
Tranquil.
Tranquil's the outside linebacker.
But the thing about look at the philosophy behind it.
He the same
Three
size as Sneed. They the same
Right.
build.
But he be hitting that both of them be hitting, but
Yeah, he's
Snead's
a
is cover
safety. He
better.
built like a safety. That's what I'm trying.
Yeah,
That's what
but
I'm saying. He can't be the outside linebacker in a 3-4.
yes, he can because he can be the spy. Because the reason why I'm running a
Then he
three
gotta
four
be
against
he
because
gotta
it's a
be the
3-4
inside.
as
He'd
in
have to be
it's
in the Chanel spot.
well, I just want a 3-4 with a spy because after this whole week,
Oh,
the Bears, Justin Fields is gonna go back to running the ball. I guarantee you next week how many if you're a betting man, I would bet the over on rushing yards on Justin Fields because after this press conference and the coach and what Justin Fields said,
that
they're
was
gonna get back to
hilarious.
his natural instincts, which is what? Running. He's
Yeah, and
gonna
throwing it
have a
deep.
lot, he's gonna have a lot more quarterback design runs this week. Even I mean, yeah, I got us winning, but it's just like he's gonna run more.
Yeah.
We need to have a 3-4 because and just set a spot, and then in passing downs, run a 4-3, get the run. I think our D if we have, I think Mike Dana, Noddy, and Chris Jones with three people can go get Justin Fields right now with a spot easily.
Yeah.
Chris Jones is gonna command two himself. Noddy ain't no punk, and Dana is quick off the edge.
I just worry
So,
about Nadi in passing situations,
but
passing
that's why I
downs.
say
He
in
can't
passing
really.
situations we go 4-3.
Oh, you just go
Start
back.
off,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. In
but
passing
Spags not doing
situations,
that.
go 4-3.
Spags is
Spags is
never running
blitzing
a three
six.
four.
No, he's not.
That's the problem here.
But
He's
I'm just
never
saying
gonna run that.
that's my theory with Justin Fields with the bid. That's what I would do until it showed me differently.
Yeah, I don't think it's really gonna matter what we do to the Bears.
No, yeah, the Bears is the Bears.
It's
Like
not gonna matter at all. So okay, let me see. Let me go through this list, see what I got here. Well, since we here with that, who I put this in our little listing. Who do you think? Because we're talking about bad quarterbacks. Who do you think the first quarterback to get benched is?
I seen
Because
that, and
I'll give you some
that
time to think. Because my
that
take
was
is very easy. It's Russell Wilson is going to be the first quarterback to sit down.
well,
There's
yeah.
no way.
I,
There's no way. It's bad.
benched as in like
You're
I don't
done.
think he gonna care. They owe him money after they bench
Yeah.
him.
If he
Like
get
it's just
benched, he
like
good.
yeah, it's just like he don't. I don't even think he would care. He gonna go in to be. He probably on what pastor school or whatever he's gonna do next in his next there. Like
I also, to me, I see a lot of people talking like really bad about Deshaun Watson, and I don't really understand. I get he doesn't look great, and I understand like the advanced analytics say whatever 27% of his throws are off target or whatever, but it doesn't. He don't look horrible. He looked like he shouldn't be paid what he gets paid, but he doesn't. He looks very competent to me watching it. It's not like it's like awful.
yeah, I mean he won't be the first one. Like Deshaun
That's
Watson
not.
is
I
he's
don't think
gonna
he gets
finish the
benched at
year.
all. Yeah, that's why.
No, well
I've seen people
well
talking about that.
he
Like,
don't
oh,
he's not
he's
gonna get
done
benched
for.
because he had 230 guaranteed. Like so like he's not getting benched unless regardless if they bench him, kick him off the team, never wanted to speak to him again, they still owe him 130 something $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever. Is Zach Wilson in the bunch?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, well there
okay.
we go. Like I'm gonna stay on his head, like because
Wilson
that's
and
what it is.
Wilson. They'll
Like
watch them get benched at the same time.
the same week, same time for each other. Like it
Boy,
was like,
hey, let's just trade and just see if this can do
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Take
I
this
don't
guy. We'll take
understand.
that guy.
So, like I said last week, I'm gonna say it this week. Zach Wilson's
The worst
they're
quarterback
gonna
in the NFL.
it.
Why? Hey, that your boy Nick
It's
Wright.
backups that I would rather have.
I mean, that's fair. That's what a lot of people are saying that right now. Quarterback shit is real weird right now. I mean, it could be Kirk Cousins. I could see that too, where they just like we
No,
done.
they're not benching Kirk.
I seen somewhere that, but they were talking about Kirk Cousins did exactly what he was brought to do. And they were like they were dealing with Aaron Rodgers, blah blah blah. And I went and looked it up. I was like, bro, he won the division one time. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are we talking about? He
Yeah,
definitely
because
didn't do
the Packers
anything.
was running that shit. Like,
Yeah, and
no,
they
they was
continued to
wild
run
card
it.
teams. they was wild card teams for a minute, but they wasn't like doing nothing like that. But
Nah, they went
he
to
just had a lot of stats and a lot of what's that empty stats.
yeah.
Like
So let
Kirk
me see,
Cousins top 10 in a lot of quarterback rankings, but it's just like only wins in primetime games.
because so
If you want to win, play the Vikings on Monday, Sunday, Thursday night.
let me see. Kirk Cousins came in 2017, right?
Yeah, same draft as RG3.
So they won the division that year. They went 13-3, won the division. Then they
Right.
didn't win the division again until last year. I just throw. I don't know why, but it's just like such a weird
Yeah,
stat of like you
what's
didn't do
crazy
nothing.
is it's time for the Vikings to give up on Kirk. 10 years
So sad.
it's time. Like you got a new receiver, one of the probably not the best receiver in the league. Time to get him
That's just. Mm.
somebody else.
Well,
It's
let's segue real quick since we're on this a very odd topic of the Vikings. Speaking of Justin Jefferson being the best wide receiver in the league right now, because he's also in this running of who to you, who do you think is the best football player in the NFL right now? Just best player, period. Because the MVP always goes to a quarterback or a receiver or a running back.
right.
And I think I have a handful ish of guys. Justin Jefferson is definitely in there.
Right.
Of guys who are just, I think, are just
Football player. It's just
football
like
player.
I mean
Because I got
like
Micah Parsons. I'm gonna just say that I think Micah Parsons is the best foot. I think if you put him on offense, he could play multiple positions also. Like that's kind of one of the things that is a little.
yeah, but I'm not doing it like that because it's like because that's not
That's why I
that's
think
like
it's
doing
not fair.
if
That's
statements. It was
no,
like
but that's
if
what I
statements
mean.
like
That's why I think Micah Parsons to me is the one because not only is he just dominant, the only other argument of somebody being better at their position on defense is TJ Watt is really the only argument you can have is being better than Michael Parsons. I guess Myles Garrett, those three are the three you could interchange. But when I look at it, when I looked at it as who's the best football player, that's where I ended up being was like Michael Parsons and Christian McCaffrey were 1 and 2. Because you could literally, I feel like if Christian McCaffrey could probably
well,
play
I was gonna say probably
a handful of off
I
like
was gonna say if
players
we're
on
doing it that
defense.
logic, it was Christian McCaffrey, but
Because he could play
best football.
running back, wide receiver. He could probably play safety. If Drew Tranquil could
Yeah,
play linebacker, then Christian McCaffrey could play
but
linebacker.
let's it. I mean, it sounds cool when you say all these people name, but
Well, of
let's be
course.
honest, who the best football player is in the NFL? Like,
Patrick LaVon Mahomes.
like let's be honest. I don't want to sound like that guy, but I am that guy. Like Patrick Mahomes is the best player in NFL. Like,
Well, yeah. That's
hands
not fair
down.
to
Like
when I do these little thought experiments,
he
I just
had
take Pat out because it's not fair.
the only reason he loses because his people has to not want to do their job and it's to catch the ball. Like honestly, like the only thing you get paid for is to catch the ball and you don't want to do it.
So
And
you
he
got
loses by 1 point.
you
But
taking
Pat
Pat.
Mahomes, yeah, but you also know I have some type of what I say bias towards football players that play baseball because you know I did
Oh yeah. That's where our
play
Alex.
baseball.
One of these days, one of these episodes, we're gonna have the Alex Smith
The
argument again.
second best quarterback in NFL history. Well, I mean, not NFL history.
I'm gonna
Sorry,
say,
y'all.
whoa.
Second best quarterback in Chief history is Alex Smith.
That's that's probably hard. That's a hard to
It's
argue.
not. It's not hard to argue. That's what it
No,
is.
I'm saying that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you got an argument there.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
who
I
else
mean,
you putting in there. Lynn
Trent,
Dawson.
the Lynn Dawson, Trent Green can fight for 3 and 4. Like Alex Smith, like easily.
We have to save. That's a whole. We could go a whole hour and a half on just arguing over is Alex Smith good or not.
I'm not just Alex.
We've done it before. We
Yes,
definitely one of these
we done walked
days
around, work.
when the season is over or whatever, we're definitely gonna have that. When we just have a whole episode with no news or nothing to do. We'll do it for sure.
Man.
Let's see. Ain't got too much left here. Teams that regret not going for Lamar. Jets is the obvious. You should just took Lamar instead of Aaron Rodgers. That was dumb. Just trade for your first round.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Or pay him. Like, what? Just pay him more with the Ravens.
Yeah. That looks so dumb right now. It's embarrassing. Let's see. What other? Oh, Colorado. You want to wrap up with talking about Colorado?
I mean,
you have any takes on Colorado?
I do. I got takes. The take is I got to bet that they're gonna lose this weekend, and so it's just not like. I mean, don't get me wrong. I fuck with Colorado, the movement, and everything else that's going on with them. But I'm also, with objectivity and speaking from watching football, they offense can score. Yes. The defense cannot do a damn thing. And even though Oregon against Texas Tech they squeaked out a win 38-30, but they scored 81 against Portland State. Portland State trash. Awful. And then they scored 55 on Hawaii, also trash. But who is it to say those defenses? Well, how far is Colorado's defense from theirs? Because Oregon's offense, if regardless if the defense of the team is trash, to score 81, that means you have
still got to go do it every.
You got to go do it.
Even you putting backups in and they going out and doing it. Yeah,
exactly. So just like, and then Colorado is also missing their best defender.
That's the real tough one. That's the tough. If I was putting money on it, I would probably put money on Oregon too. I understand.
Yeah, well, yeah, I got money.
I still have hope. I have a hope that they can do it.
I won't be mad when I'm gonna be last. I'm gonna be mad I lost the money, but
you'll be happy. I won't be won.
Right. It's just like it's one of those feelings, as in like, yeah, I give you the money. I bet here you go, but it's just like, okay, Colorado won, so now going into USC, I'm probably gonna bet USC to win again. But it's still just like, okay, maybe I have a little bit of hope because right now I don't think that defense. Caleb Williams is gonna go crazy on that Colorado defense.
If Colorado,
I'm just waiting on that week.
Unless somehow Colorado,
if Bo Nix go crazy,
bruh, wouldn't it be crazy if somehow we find out Colorado State is like a good team? You know what I mean? Like, how hilarious would that be if, like,
but they was saying they did have a few.
Colorado State only lost the first 2 games of the season.
But if you watch the game, they did say they had a few NFL players on their team.
Oh yeah,
like that receiver. The DN and the receiver
was legit.
Was legit. Yeah, they was.
The receiver was open every play.
Yeah, but he was cooking anybody hell.
Killing them. Yeah.
Even before Travis Hunter got hurt, he was cooking him too.
Everybody, yeah.
Like that was a real NFL receiver that was on that field that day.
And
so we're not finished.
That DN Kamara.
Yeah,
he was dinged up. He had a leg brace. He had a knee brace, not a sleeve. He had the Stone Cold Steve Austin knee brace, the full metal shit on there and everything. Hurt his other knee and still was cooking the line. To me, that's even scarier than the defense. The offensive line for Colorado is just bad.
Yeah.
The fact that Shedeur.
Side note.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Alabama game?
Yeah. Well, wait, which Alabama game?
They won against USF.
Yes, I seen parts of that where they were struggling. They subbed the quarterback
because I was thinking
the backup quarterback out.
No, I was just when you said defenders and things like Kamara and things like that. Defenders that like took my mind. They're like the dude from USF, Davis, went crazy that game. Did you see his stat line for that game?
I ain't see what he in with.
Dude had.
I got a computer. I got this whole shit up.
Dude went. Yeah, he went dumb crazy. Again, USF. I think his number was like 0-9, something like that. He was a DB, but he was always blitzing. Kind of like a Snead, L'Jarius Snead type of role for USF. He went crazy that game against Alabama. That's why I've been like, it's a lot of like,
Yeah, it's talent everywhere. That's the thing. Like,
but you know
uh,
what changed it was
oh, please,
NIL.
please tell me you've seen the BS High documentary.
Oh yeah. I seen that. That coach
Oh
was.
man,
I'd be in jail if he was my son coach. I just tell you that. That's my synopsis of watching the whole thing. Dude's the worst narcissist known to man. The worst
I
narcissist known to
just,
man. How you snitch on yourself in a
bruh.
documentary?
But if he telling the truth, right? Uh, he just went on Joe Budden podcast and was talking about some of that stuff. And what he ended up saying was he was like, "Hey, technically, which obviously he's a horrible like person and just a
Right.
liar and untrust completely. You cannot trust a guy like that. But
No, not at all.
if he was telling the truth of some of that, some of those guys went to play D1. They even showed in the documentary some of those guys went on to play D1 and went to college and got scholarships. But the point he made when he was talking to Joe Budden was the whole idea of this whole thing is just to get kids that wouldn't get seen because of grades, because of whatever is going on in their life, to get seen by scouts. And I think that's a huge thing. I think that's partially here in the city is a problem. Is like
Yeah, but you don't
nobody
do
gets
it
seen. There's so many.
that
There's so
way
much
though.
talent like that. No. I'm not saying to be. I'm bringing the point back around to what you were saying about the dude at USF or whatever.
Oh
It's because
yeah.
there's so many of those guys
Oh
that are
yeah,
just
but you
floating.
gotta
How
think
many guys do you know
the
that
dude
you went
from
to school
USF.
with that
Oh
was
well, shit.
cold that we were like, oh, you should have been in the league, but you didn't even graduate or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like it's a
All the
handful of them
time.
dudes from like when he was 14 being freshmen where it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna be cold, and all of a sudden this dude don't even go to school no more.
Oh yeah, in
Like, yeah, of
jail, things
course.
like
In
that. Yeah,
jail,
oh,
yeah. It's so many of
yeah.
those.
But
It's
it's
the
just
thing.
like, but that's the thing about being the difference between becoming a college athlete and a pro athlete. Because I mean,
Mhm.
I've done the
Being
college
locked in.
athlete, I've done the college athlete route. I've done the tryout for pros route, things like that. It's just
Mhm.
like when I was trying out to be, when I was playing baseball and trying to go play pro. Like when I tell you every day I slept, dream, breathe baseball. Like wake up.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to work that day, where was I at? The baseball field, the weight room, in my backyard hitting off
Yeah.
the tee, something like that. Like that's the difference. Like these other
Now,
dudes, they if they get into any type of side strip or any type of breaking news because they're doing this with X, Y, and Z because they're not really focused on the end goal.
of
Like
course. Now I want you to think about this
so,
also. You play football, you play baseball and all that. How many times, and I know it's multiple times, how many people did you know that didn't give a fuck about none of that shit and was still cold?
right.
That's the
But the
scary
thing,
part.
but the thing about it is coming. Yeah, you can do that when you got a name to back you up. A lot of those people that do
Yeah.
it think about their legacy or the history that
It's
the
being
family they grew up in.
but that was my point. That's my whole
But it's
point. Is
like
being seen. That's the
right
real thing
or
here.
go
Is
to bigger schools. If I went to Lee Summer West, I had a friend. Me and him was the same type of baseball player, but he went to Lee Summer West. I went to
yeah.
University Academy. So he got way more opportunities than me just because he went to Lee Summit West.
Yeah, that's
So
my
he
point. It's just
is
the
just like
eyeballs
the
alone.
bigger schools. It's just like inner
Yeah.
city schools for different sports, like inner city school for baseball in Kansas City, Missouri, like dead. Like yeah,
Yeah.
if you, I mean, we have a few players in the league, and I played with them and
Yeah.
against them, like, but it's just like not like up there, like other
Yeah.
cities
Top.
have,
Yeah, of
but
course.
like, but inner city for basketball and football is actually starting to
It's getting there.
rise a little bit.
It's getting there.
I mean, it's starting to push some people out, but
Mm-hmm.
that big per sport, like, because I'm sure inner city baseball in Lexington, Missouri, I'm sure got more players than basketball. Like, just
Yeah. But
like
to put a
so,
bow or bring this conversation back together, I think that's the main what Coach Prime is doing is exactly the same way we was
oh
talking about
yeah,
Kamara and all that and the receiver who I don't remember his name for Colorado State. I think that's the thing.
I remember his number 14, but
Yeah. That's the thing right now I think that Deion Sanders is doing that's pretty crazy. The fact that somebody like Deion Sanders can just walk into a school and
a
turn it in
PWI.
Yeah, and turn it into the most
for HBCU.
popular sports team, period, basically, at the moment for a moment, even if it's just for a moment, even if it's for a year, 2, 3, whatever it is. The fact that that can be done,
As long as Deion Sanders stay at
crazy.
Colorado, he's gonna be getting number one pick. But because the
Yeah,
thing about it is, he's gonna be getting number one picks, even if they're not number one draft. What is that?
recruit.
Recruits,
He's
dude.
gonna
He's
get the
Deion
top tier.
Sanders. Like
Not only that,
he's
he's gonna get the guys that were top recruits to transfer there if they're not getting playing time.
exactly. And the thing is, like, he's Deion Sanders. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you were, football is what 70% black. If you were a black dude, regardless of your age, generation, or anything, you had an uncle, grandpa, somebody talking about prime time,
Yeah, one of
Deion
the
Sanders.
just and on top of that, one of just the coolest people ever.
Yeah, it's just like he gonna tell you real shit. He's like the person. He gonna tell you your shit that you need to hear. He gonna expect greatness from you, but
Mm-hmm.
if he expect greatness from you, I mean, yeah, you want to do it for him because he's prime. You know what I'm saying? It's just
It's
like this is
Dion.
Deion.
Yeah,
It's Deion saying like who if I'm especially being like Travis Hunter.
yeah.
The last that's why I think I made a status and I said Travis Hunter is the new age Deion Sanders getting
That's why he
coached
went there.
by Deion Sanders.
Of course, it's so
like
crazy. The fact that Shador now is getting looked at as a top
a top
quarterback,
10 pick if he came out this year.
bruh,
Some saying he could be the number one pick if he
next
wait till
year
next year.
because the class is weak. Yeah,
Exactly.
and I, to me, and I have this is one of the things I had on the list is right now, and it sounds weird because they're both black quarterbacks, but I think
No, it
literally,
makes sense after watching watching how they move in the pocket and how they think.
bruh,
It makes
right
sense.
now, like Gino right now and Shador Smith are the same thing. Now the difference obviously is one is in his 30s and one is 21. But I think
Right.
right now they're interchangeable.
The same stature,
Same thing,
like
like they both can
move in the
move, but
packet.
they not fast.
They don't choose to. They move
Hmm.
and then they move with like an urgency, as in like I need
I
this,
gotta
so
go.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna get it.
I
Like
can. I don't. I don't just. It's not Justin Fields,
because Shador
Lamar.
right, but
Yeah,
I can if I want to. Like
to me, they
Shador could
both have the
definitely
same thing that Pat has, where it's like Pat not gonna take off for 75. He not gonna pull no Lamar runs and break a tackle, spin off a dude. You know what I mean? Go 50 with
right,
it. But like, oh, it's 3rd and 12. I can get 15 right now.
right.
Like y'all went man, too high man. Oh, I'm out. I'm taking off. I'm getting 15 yards.
I'm
Like, oh,
taking
yeah,
all of this, and
I'm
I
getting
might take a
all
little
12
and run out of
yards.
bounds. Right. It's just
Exactly.
like
I think I see that
no,
same thing. That's why I felt bad saying it at first because like when I was thinking, I'm like, damn, am I just doing that because it's two black dudes? Like,
but the thing about it is Geno Smith at, if I'm not mistaken, West Virginia
yeah. Oh, he was cooking.
wasn't bad. I
No, he
remember
was
playing with
cooking in West
Geno
Virginia.
in
Yeah,
NCAA.
yeah, he was
Like, because
cooking.
if I'm not mistaken, who was his running back?
Gino went top 10, didn't he? I
Yeah,
thought he
his
go in the
running
second
back.
round.
I'm
Damn.
just trying. Who was his running back? Not Steve Slayton. That was years
No, that
before
was before that.
Geno. He had a running back. Not Spiller, Splitter. Dang, what was his name?
No, he was a second round pick. Okay.
I feel like Geno had a running back then.
No, he did.
Because I used to play with West Virginia back in the day, though, because that's when they had
Noel
Slayton and
Devine.
yeah,
Oh no. Oh shit. Noel
who
Devine, Tavon Austin. That was the other one.
Tavon Austin is one of the most electrifying. What they some people say he got the best college highlight tape.
He probably do. Yeah.
Tavon used
Yeah.
to be crazy
Which is a
in
cook.
college.
But are they the same size too? Like I think that's yeah, Gino's 6'3", 220, Shador
That's
6'2",
two. Yeah,
220, probably
yeah.
215. I just
They
think
built just alike.
I see a
They
lot of that
built
of like, hey, I'm a pocket quarterback that's relatively
that
accurate,
can
smooth,
run.
calm, and I can take off if I need to. I just I see a lot there, and
But
Oh no,
Geno wasn't like that earlier. That's what he's saying. He's
no,
like Geno now.
he's Geno
Cause
right. The Geno right
yeah,
now. Yeah,
right.
that's what I
Because
mean.
that Geno earlier was
No.
I'm
Total,
first pick.
yeah, it was bad.
First throw, first option out there, pick. Like
Pick,
just like
yeah. I'm looking at it
yeah.
now. He threw 21 interceptions his rookie year.
Who did? Geno?
Geno, 12
Yeah.
touchdowns, 21 interceptions. I
He
don't think
still ain't
Shador
got
gonna
the
do that.
no. But Peyton Manning got the record though. I think he
Yeah,
threw like 28 or something like that.
yeah, rookie year.
25. Mm-hmm.
Does Jameis Winston have the most interceptions in a season of all time?
30 for 30. I don't know if it's the most, but I know he 30 for 30 though.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Hey, he's somebody open. Defense or
It's
offense. He's
somebody down there.
there.
Somebody's down there. I need glass. He needed glasses. Did you know that? That's why
Yeah,
he was like that.
he
He had to
had
get LASIK. I think he got
LASIK
LASIK
for
the year after that. You know how
hey.
bad that is? You can't see.
Well, that's actually a real good excuse to be perfectly honest.
What? You're a millionaire. Get your eyes fixed in the off season.
You can't tell you
What
blind,
are we
buddy.
talking? Yeah, you didn't know that. You didn't know you couldn't
Wait,
see.
who is the doctors testing off of physicals right now to say your quarterback can see down the field?
Nah, I'm good. I'm cool.
You go ahead right on there that I can
They got
see.
black.
Like,
They got black jerseys. We got white jerseys. I can see. I'm good.
shit, somebody down there open.
Somebody.
Like, you're right. It is 30 other people. Like,
hey, bro, that's the ref. that's the refs, bro. What are you doing?
That man really threw 30.
That's the
30,
mascot.
30 touchdowns, 30 picks, and this man, Jameis.
Man.
Hey, I fuck with Jameis though. He was my dark. I feel like one of those years he was my dark horse MVP person too. Like I think it was the year
he had
that.
fucking
It probably
36
was
touchdowns and almost 6,000 yards.
Yeah, he was.
He had
I
like
think
5,500 yards, something like that.
And Mr. Slant Boy himself, Michael Thomas.
Man,
oh, he's
poor
just
Michael Thomas.
Slant Boy. That's what I call him.
Let's not say Michael Thomas' name too many times that he might hurt his leg again. Just from us talking about him.
I don't know. It might be a turf toe.
Man, he gonna hurt himself just from hearing us say his name.
Right.
My feet.
Good
my
thing
ankle.
they got a right. Shit. Concussion
Man.
just from thinking about it.
Man.
Like
Shador, I can't wait to see how this whole thing plays out on Saturday. Because if they win, oh man, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be the only
sports
thing
world
talk
gonna be
about.
crazy. Yeah, it is. It's gonna be sports world. Even the NFL shows gonna be like, Deion, what does he prove beating Oregon?
Then this is gonna be the build. This is what it's gonna be. If they beat Oregon, we're gonna start saying, is Shador better than Caleb Williams? Is Shador the best quarterback?
But it's cool. It's cool
to find out next week.
What?
It's like a Dragon Ball Z episode. Next week.
Yeah, next week until
NCAA.
Caleb Williams dropped 500 yards on that defense.
Bruh.
Caleb Williams.
The Colorado defensive line looks so small. When they played Nebraska, it looked like a middle school team playing a college team.
Yeah,
it was crazy. I don't know.
And then USC just got so many damn athletes, like special teams alone. That number one, the dude who just like don't go down on like kick returns, punt returns, like all right, good luck. Like, next 2 weeks, the rest of their season is tough. They got Oregon State still. They got Utah.
We talked about it last week. A third of the top 25 is Pac-12 teams.
I know. I'm just saying, like, and we're gonna keep saying it every week.
And if they keep winning,
all they need is 6 to get a bowl game. They got to squeeze out 3. Arizona State, maybe Stanford, Arizona State, Stanford, and whoever the hell else they get.
I think, if Colorado, I think the scariest thing that can happen for them in any of these games, the way the team is built, is if they get down big, they're gonna lose. They got to keep they have to keep every game like you can't close. You can't go down 10 or 14 to Oregon. You can't go
they
down
have to
2
get the
scores.
ball first. They have to get the ball first.
Because if they just like, we're just gonna run the ball now, it's over. They don't have the defensive line to withstand any type of run game. The only way they're gonna stay in there, and the only saving grace, even in something like that, is if Shador is really like one of the best quarterbacks out there right now. I
What they
think
say, he's almost completing what 70,
I think he's at
80% of his passes.
80%.
Yeah, was
Yeah,
it
it's almost
78,
80.
80% of his passes? Like,
Yeah, he's like 2 or 3 in
and he
completion
leads the
percentage.
F, and he leads the league the FBS in 40-yard plus pass
Hmm.
plays too.
Yep,
So
throws downfield. He's second in yards, 10 touchdowns in 3 games. He there. He the truth. I think
and only one
this is
pick.
gonna work. I think if you look at it, Geno, that's the comp right there. Geno right now, how he produced last year, I think that's the best comp for Shador. And you got Tom Brady like in your corner. Like what?
Yeah, but the only thing about Shador is how is that personality going to translate into the
Oh,
NFL when
I
your
ain't worried
your
about
dad
that.
is not coaching you and you can do what you
That's
want?
yeah, yeah. I'm more worried about him staying healthy with that offensive line.
Oh, playing behind that old line, you go to the if he a top 10 pick and he already been playing around two bad that's one quarterback, and I'll be like, well, he played with a bad O line in college, and
So he should be all
well,
right.
he should be all right in the NFL.
But shit,
like,
here's a
yeah.
scenario here for the TikTok camera. Here's a crazy scenario. The top teams or the bottom teams in the NFL that are fighting for the number one pick are so bad and such dumpster fires. We talking about like Bears, Cardinals, places where people just don't want to go, right? Commanders I'll throw in there, even though they got new ownership and all that. That could be a little different. But could I think it's very possible that there's a world where Caleb, we're talking about the same thing next year. Caleb and Shador just stay because the situations at the top of the draft are so bad that they both just like, nope, not going there. I'll stay. Trade the pick or we staying in school. And I think that's a very
Mm,
likely situation.
I feel like Caleb
Because why would you
will
want to go
go
to the
out.
Cardinals?
I think Caleb will come out regardless.
If you
Shador
Caleb
might
and you
end
know
up
you're going
staying.
to the Cardinals, you cool with that?
Yeah, but he might end up at the Cardinals next year if they don't get a quarterback. Like so,
Yeah.
so it's just like what they're gonna end another year with. I mean, they can go a year with Kyler Murray, but I don't think they want to do. The
No.
Cardinals will end up with a quarterback regardless who comes out.
Yeah.
If it's not Caleb or Shador, it's gonna be
Drake May, everybody keep talking about him.
Drake May,
Penix.
Bo Nix, Penix. They're gonna get a quarterback.
Yeah. I
So
still ain't seen everybody keep talking about Vanilla Vic. I haven't seen him yet.
which one?
Riley from Duke.
Yeah, because yeah, I mean
Riley Leonard.
yeah, right. I don't. Nah,
I ain't seen him at all,
the
but I keep
Cardinals.
seeing people talk about him. But
So
yeah,
I know if Aaron, when nobody know what Aaron Rodgers, what the Jets gonna do, I think the Jets gonna go more veteran quarterback than they are gonna go young quarterback. So I don't think the Jets will. They're gonna be a top 10 pick, but I don't think they're gonna get a quarterback.
we gonna see
Uh,
though. We gonna see. But I think we're at a good stopping point now. We can go ahead wrap this little recording up and yeah, still don't have an outro. So
no,
thanks for listening.
yeah.